Hi everyone, it's Melissa from Extra Length Hair again. On this video I'm going to show you how to lighten hair that's in its natural state or a natural colour. And this is virgin hair, so it hasn't ever been processed or had anything put on it before. If you try to lighten hair that may have been dyed to the colour that it is or that could have been processed, it may not work in the same way. But because this is virgin, it will work this way. I mean, I did my own hair a few months ago, probably about 6 months ago, I don't know if you can see or not. My hair was a 1B and I put some cream peroxide through it, left it on for 45 minutes to an hour. I kept checking it until it was a colour that I wanted and then washed it off. But it is quite easy to do. Cream peroxide comes in different percentages. The higher the percent, the stronger the cream peroxide. And obviously peroxide damages your hair. So the higher percentage you put on, the more damage you could cause. 3% is the same as 10% volume. You can see it says on the front. 6% is the same as 20% volume. You've got 9%, which is the same as 30. And then the last one is 12%, which is the same as 40. Now you'll find a lot of people say, oh, put 40% volume on or 12% volume, which is this. It's the strongest one. If you put this strength on your hair, it could damage it, it could dry it out, it could snap it off, it could break it. It's very high. So if you do, be really careful that you don't leave it on for too long. To lighten hair, you don't need a super strong percent. I'm going to show you on this hair, which is virgin natural. I've cut a tiny bit off the weft because the client that is coming on Saturday wants colour 2. This is not colour 2, this is more a 1B. So I'm just going to lighten it a little bit. I won't even need to leave it on for much longer than half an hour. If you leave it on a radiator, if the radiators are on, or out in the sunshine, it reacts faster because it's warm and it's heated. Wherever there's heat, it reacts faster. So like if you put it on your own natural hair, at the roots, because your roots are right next to your head and your head's warm, it's always lighter. Your roots are the most natural part of your hair, so it's always lighter where your roots are, so never leave it on for as long if you're doing it at the root of your hair. And also because it's warm there, you don't want to end up with orange roots. But yeah, if you leave it outside or in a radiator, it reacts faster. I'm going to use a 6%. 6%, like I said, is the same as 20% volume. So I've got my mixing bowl, my brush, my gloves to protect my hands, and my foil. The hair is on the foil already. I've laid it out. I want all of this hair doing. So I want all of this hair to be a colour 2. But if you don't want all of the hair doing, if you just want to do streaks or some, thick streaks, fine streaks, whatever you want, then take another piece of kitchen foil and put it over the top of the hair like that. While it's over the top of the hair, pull fine strands if you want fine strands, or thick strands if you want thick strands, over the top and lay it on the foil. It's easier to get the strands out first. So let me show you. Can you see? I'll get a few bits out. This is like the way to streak it, or just lighten a few parts of it if you don't want the whole amount doing. Right, I've pulled a few out there. So you would pull out the bits that you wanted to do. Lie the hair on your first piece of foil, leaving these bits out, and then put the second piece of foil over the top and put the hair over the top of it, so that you then have a look like that. Hold on. Can you see? So it's like that, with a few bits pulled over the top. Then you paint your cream peroxide using this onto the bits you want to lighten and leave it. I'm not doing it in streaks, so I'm not going to be using the second piece of foil. I need all of it doing. So I'll show you how I do it. Put my other glove on. Ooh. Peroxide can burn your skin and your hands because it's very strong, so always wear gloves and always protect your clothing. As I'm not doing a whole lot of hair, I'll only need a little bit, but you can add to it. Literally, you just get your brush and paint it on. It's really simple. And then once you've done one side, just turn it over and do the other side. Should have put more peroxide in my bowl. And as I said, this is the 6%. Can you see? So make sure you work it through all of the hair, especially at the top as well. And this is never good to take it to a super light colour like a blonde, because the top part of the weft will always stay the same, like, because it's done in a 1B or a natural colour, it has black cotton. The weft is made with a black cotton. So even if you take it to a blonde colour, the black cotton stays. You would never want blonde hair with black cotton. So the lightest I would say take it to would be like a colour 6 or a colour 8, and you're still going to have your black cotton. So that's one side, then I turn it over to do the other. It's really easy to do. And like I said, once it's done, you have to keep checking it. You know, say check it every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes. Especially if you're putting it somewhere where it's heated, like outside or on a radiator, because the heat will accelerate the process. Right, so that's the other side done. Now because I folded it in half, I'm going to turn it the other way and do the inside so that I know it's all completely covered. Cream peroxide is really cheap, it's not expensive at all. And you don't have to get a really expensive one, they all do the same job. It's entirely up to you. It's like super covered now. So I'm just going to do the last side. Ooh. And this hair, even covered in cream peroxide, is still beautiful. Still super soft, doesn't tangle, it doesn't knot. There we go, it's completely covered now. So then once it's completely covered, I fold it. Because I'm a neat freak. There we go, it's in there. And then pop it, like I said, outside in the sun if you want, on a radiator, or you can just leave it on the side. But with heat, it accelerates the process, so it makes it happen faster. And then every now and again, every 15-20 minutes, open it up and check it and see if it's the colour that you want it to be. And it's just that simple. I will show you now, obviously because that's happening, I don't want to make the video super long. I'll show you now hair that I did previously. So here is some that I did yesterday. You can see this was a 1B, it's now more of a colour 2, it's a little bit lighter, and that's just what I wanted to achieve. And then this one was a 1B, I left it on for a little bit longer, the longer you leave it on, the lighter it goes, is now more of a colour 4. So any hair that you buy from me, you can change the colour of, you can just do the ends if you want, you can do odd streaks, or you can do the whole thing, and that's exactly how you do it. But remember, you've got to keep checking on it, because you don't want it to get too light and you don't want it to fry, so don't use anything too strong. And that is the end of the video on how to lighten hair. I hope you enjoyed it. Send me any messages that you want, ask any questions that you want, and don't forget to check out my website at www.extralength.co.uk. Thanks for watching.